You know what? Valorant just dropped the beta. What have you been watching streams? What is your takeaway? Like, what do you think so far?
I've been watching a lot of streams, and it's been interesting hearing different people's takes. One person's take, which I don't necessarily agree with, Summit1G was saying he thinks, people are talking about who is this going to take anyone down, and his sort of perspective is it's not going to take down, Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Counter-Strike's still going to exist. It's not going away, but it may take down Overwatch, which I feel it's so very different from Overwatch. I get the feeling that this is going to be sort of complementary to Counter-Strike. It's going to be another Counter-Strike style game. I think they can very much exist in the same universe. That being said, in my opinion, very strong opinion, if you are bored watching Counter-Strike streams, you are going to be bored watching Valorant streams. It is not so incredibly different when you are watching it, and I got bored.
Really, because they have the whole thing with Valorant is they're mixing the hero abilities just like Overwatch. So I thought that would, at face value, that seems like that would make it visually more interesting. But you're saying that actually that doesn't do enough when you're watching it?
I mean, visually, it's still like it needs more personality. But I think it's sort of like, yeah, you have abilities, but in Overwatch, you're using the abilities to be extremely aggressive. Whereas in this, you're using the ability to try and protect yourself a little bit more, try and see something you shouldn't really see, flashbang somebody in a different way. So, yeah, it doesn't have that hyper aggression of an Overwatch where everyone just pushes through a door at once and throws all their abilities out. Your abilities, generally, you want to use them before you see an enemy. Okay. It's preparation.
So you mentioned that you want to use your abilities right before. A lot of the gameplay that I'll see with the character that has these knives that pop out, it's often they whip them out right before they turn a corner. But I didn't know what that was referencing or why they're doing that. But that makes sense that it seems like you have to prep your abilities before you go into interaction.
Yeah, people, like, that's where I see people die a lot of times when it's not directly getting outplayed gun-wise, because you really have to be on top of your shit gun-wise. It can just be a split second and you're dead.
Gotcha.
But the abilities, if you get caught like pulling one out, a lot of times it'll get you in trouble. So you want to bank around a corner, get people into a tricky situation. Yeah, I still disagree with, and I really wish the game didn't have a healer, because it's interesting the way that, especially a healer with a revive. I think that's one of the things I disagree with most with like Overwatch is the fact that there's a character with a revive. Now you have to pick that character every single round, otherwise the fuck are you doing? So this, you have a healer, so now you need the healer so you can heal, assuming you survive. So maybe because it's so split second, maybe it's not as necessary, but the fact that there is a revive, I don't love that. I feel like that character is going to have to be in every single game ever. So that's sort of my disagreement with that. But it's interesting. But yeah, it needs a little bit more personality.
Yeah, I was reading some of the same things online. Like GameSpot had some takeaways from the beta here. So Valorant is basically a hero shooter Counter-Strike. Borrows heavily from CS, buying equipment each round, map design, 1 life per round demolition mode, how weapons function, the types of successful team strategies, hell, even you run faster with a knife. There was a lot of overlap, it seems like, or real inspiration from CSGO.
Yeah.
But it seems like that's what they're trying to take the lunch from. So I guess it makes sense that that's what they imitate more than, say, like Overwatch.
Yeah, definitely. It's more of a Counter-Strike, which is fine. And they even said it on stream. And I know this is sort of business talk, but they did try to make it clear that they're not trying to be a Counter-Strike killer. They're trying to be just another game in the Counter-Strike sort of space. Because there's really no competition. At one point there was a game called Dirty Bomb, which is still a bit different. But so it's definitely interesting kind of seeing sort of their roadmap, where they're going. They said they're not necessarily interested in adding more guns, but they do want to add more heroes. And that makes me worry because we saw what happened with Overwatch where they can't balance this thing anymore. That being said, League of Legends has been out for a long time. It's got 1 million characters and it's balanced enough.
Yeah.
So
it's something that comes with time, and you need the community to like stay on for long enough to see that happen, I guess.
Yeah, and they have like a whole team dedicated to balancing League of Legends, which I still don't even know how that's. Yeah, that's just a lot. But they're using a lot of math to try and get everything balanced out. It's interesting.
How do you feel about so with this beta, it was kind of publicized that you would watch a stream and then somehow you get some kind of beta key unlocks from there on. This seems like a somewhat of a newer thing. I know there's a lot of Borderlands integration with Twitch and stuff, but how do you feel with watching the stream and that grants you access into the beta?
I mean, it's neat how it's these people that were going to be pushing the game anyway, the streamers, now get some extra benefit. So it's some extra support for them, and it doesn't feel, cheap. It is weird who they picked. There's a lot of big streamers that don't have drops, and it's sort of like, why not them? Or it's not really known yet. Do you have an advantage watching a smaller streamer? Do you have an advantage watching a bigger streamer? Does it not matter? Is it just they're being distributed amongst everyone that's watching? So it's pretty strange. There's a lot not known about it.
Gotcha.
But it's also interesting that, YouTube's left out of this, basically. Mixer's left out of it, even though, big streamers like Shroud and Ninja are streaming this over on Mixer. They're still not getting the same benefit that they would on Twitch. It's also neat. It's interesting seeing those guys, which again used to be some of the biggest streamers on Twitch. You'll get Shroud with 6,000 viewers, and then you have the biggest one on Twitch, which is 200,000 streamers or views, where Shroud used to be the guy that would get the 200. So it's really weird to see. So that's.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, people are talking about it. I mean, it is. There was a lot of build up to this kind of thing, so we'll see what they decide to change with the beta. I'm not sure how long the beta is running. I think we covered it last week. I don't know offhand, but I
don't either.
Yeah, there's always this weird like strike while the iron's hot kind of moment where you want to take advantage of the buzz, and so we'll see how they actually take this into whether it be like an early access or they go with the final build. I think they were looking for a summer release, but I'm not sure if that is early access or like final release. But yeah, we will see. Gavin, time will tell. Yeah.